Why is it that everybody is having a moan about the supermarkets and Argos for starting their Christmas campaigns around the beginning of October? Because the only reason they do this is because you're daft enough to sit through their endless TV commercials and go out and buy copious amounts of useless tap for the people you care about. Okay, that was a rhetorical question, so I will start again. I don't understand why you're complaining about it. After all, it is all your own fault. Christmas is merely a gift to those in marketing and sales, but a hindrance to every normal person trying to pay off their credit cards and keep their overly sensitive families from throwing a wobbler. Most people will have the ill-thought-out argument that Christmas may be overly commercialised, but it's for the kids. But the kids wouldn't give a hoot if we didn't bother making such a fuss about it in the first place. So the reason kids want so much stuff is because parents feel they have to compete against each other to prove what great parents they are. And the wily marketing bodies target the both of you, knowing that Christmas will be ruined if you don't throw away all your principles and do as they say. Christmas isn't for kids, it's for Argos. And adults all over the country and wealthier parts of the world will worry their little heads about how they can afford such a show. Until, of course, Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's soften the blow by showing you what a great festive time you can have if only you buy enough rich and stodgy food to gorge yourself on. With the sweetener too, that you can feel much more justified in getting smashed on alcohol because that's what everybody else is doing. How can Christmas be so wrong when you're so drunk you'll think? And bloody hell, I'll have to join you because there's nothing so lonely as being the only person still sat around being cynical and sober. But it's still wrong, isn't it? Christmas is supposed to be a celebration and a time for forgiveness, but for some it's a time of misery, jealousy and despair, because not everybody can afford it. And the unfortunate kids will just have to observe while their own confidence gets chipped away at, knowing that their parents don't love them quite as much as their friends' parents do. Only when they grow up they'll understand, but by then it'll be too late. In 1984, Bob Geldof decided that the kids in Africa were missing out on something because they had no privilege. That much is true, but releasing a song called Do They Know It's Christmas is probably about as tactless as it gets. Because they didn't know, and they didn't need or care to know. So why write a song telling that they're missing out on something? The last thing the Ethiopians needed to know was what a great time you're having while they're sat around eating insects. Bob also forgot to mention the dark side of this celebration, which is that ordinary people in developed countries don't have Christmas for family or forgiveness, but merely because they're only interested in what they're going to get out of it. Christmas, a time for greed, gluttony and liver cirrhosis.